Hey everybody, we are here with the second to last class I have to do, which is the Scout. Scout is the fastest class in the game. Well, I shouldn't say the fastest. He's basically the fastest, excluding any fancy stuff like sticky jumping and stuff. He has the fastest running speed is what I'm trying to say. So, his primary weapon is basically a shotgun. You have the scatter gun, which is basically it's like a little more powerful shotgun. Um, It has 6 shots in a clip and has like 32 extra bullets, so it's basically a shotgun. It does more damage than other shotguns. Like other shotguns, if you get full on point blank, it'll do like 80 some damage or something. Scattered gun does over 100, so it does do quite a bit more damage. I also just like the way it reloads. It's like just awesome to shoot because then you can reload it. It's fun to do. I don't know. And then there's a force of nature, which is kind of like the scatter gun. I mean, you can read it. It has 20% more bullets, but it does 10% less damage per bullet because it like shoots a pellet spray out. So they actually have like a spread kind of to them like other shotguns. And so the force of nature can do more damage with one shot because I mean, there's 20%. You do 10% less damage, but there's 20% more bullets, so you end up doing more damage. It can shoot 50% faster. But the downside is you have a minus 60% clip size. So you actually only have 2 bullets per clip. So you can shoot your 2 shots, and then you can reload. You only have 2 shots per clip, but it reloads a lot faster, so kind of makes up for it a little bit. One of the really unique things about this gun is it has knockback on the target and the shooter. So you can actually use this because scouts can double jump. You can press space again while you're in midair to do a second jump. The force of nature, you can kind of use it to do another midair jump. So you can do like triple jumping. Because wherever you shoot it, if you're in midair, or even if you're on the ground, basically, whichever direction you shoot it, it shoots you in the opposite direction. That's one reason I actually hate it, because it's very annoying when you're trying to shoot at somebody. Like you're jumping around, you're trying to shoot at somebody, and all of a sudden you'll shoot at them, and you'll just stop in midair. And that just makes you a really easy target, which is really annoying. So that's something to definitely consider. It does shoot targets back, which can be helpful. At the same time, it can also be really bad. Because say you're trying to kill a medic, and you shoot your first shot, and he goes flying away. And it's like, well, now you can't get to him because he just flew halfway across the map. So, I don't know. Force Nature is much more of a harassment gun, I would say. Because it's more for you to be able to get out and, like, push enemies away than it is for you to, like, actually, like, do a lot of sustained damage, as it were. Because by like the very nature of it, if you're really close in their face, you're going to be shooting people away from you, which is kind of counterintuitive. It's like if you want to shoot somebody, you want them to be close to you. So that's just kind of what I think of it. You have the short stop, which is kind of like a pistol. It has more range than the other ones. But it has more range. It's part of the set. It was the polycount weapon. So if you were all the weapons in the special delivery set below, you get a 25% max health. I mean, 25% plus 25 max health, which is actually quite a lot for the Scout. Health is very important for Scout. But short step has 4 bullets in a clip and has like an extra 36, I believe. Anyway, it's much more. The packing on the spread is a lot tighter, so you can shoot for longer distances. But this does a lot less damage. In general, it'll like only do 60 damage, like point blank or something like that. So it doesn't do as much raw damage per shot, but it's another more of a harassment weapon for Scout. I mean, you're not going to be dishing out a ton of damage with this, especially since they nerfed it recently, so that the reload speed on this is god-awful slow. Well, once you shoot your 4 shots, if you didn't kill the dude, you're probably going to die, because it literally takes 2 seconds to reload this stupid thing. It's really annoying. So it's kind of more of a hit-and-run gun. You kind of just pop around a corner, shoot your 4 shots, and then hide while you take forever to reload, and you can come back around and shoot more people. And then, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. The last one is the Soda Popper. It's a lot like the Force of Nature in terms that it only has 2 shots and stuff. But, and it has a 60% clip size reduction. It has no random critical hits, but one thing this thing does is if you're running with this weapon out, you'll build up a meter. And if your meter's full, then you can do mini crits with any of your weapons. The meter doesn't build unless you have the Soda Popper out. So if you have like a pistol out and you're running, you're not going to build up the meter. So I mean, this is kind of another more of a hit and run thing. Basically, you run around until you basically build up your height meter, and then once your height meter is full, you pop around corners and you'll shoot people with your mini crits, and then you'll kind of back off because your damage is not very high when you don't have the mini crits. So basically, all the alternate weapons make it so Scout's more hit and run. Scattergun is for more like direct combat, far more than the other three, and that's probably why it's better in like a lot of ways. Because the Scout, a lot of people like to play the Scout hit and run, but he's hit and run in the sense that he goes in and just murders everybody and then runs away after everybody's dead. You know, it's just like, I don't know. He's not made to whittle people down really so much. There are better classes for whittling people down. Think like rocket spam. Rocket spam is going to do a lot more damage than plinking away at people with a short stop from halfway across the map. It's just going to be like literally completely ineffective. You'll maybe do like 80 damage over the course of 20 seconds, and it's like if they have a medic, that's literally nothing. So, I don't know. We'll talk more about that when we actually play. So, standard pistol for Scout. It's the same as the Engineer's one, but it has a lot less ammo. It doesn't have very much ammo, so you can run out of ammo really fast with the pistol. Then there's the Winger, which is basically like the same as the pistol, kind of, except, 60% clip size, so that's only 4 bullets, or is it 5 bullets per clip? One of the two. But it does more damage. So yeah, I think it's like pistol's probably better because, I mean, you think about this, if you shoot your 5 bullets and then you're reloading, whereas this one, in the time you take to reload this, you could have already shot off the rest of your clip, in which case that would have been more damage in that amount of time. I don't know, maybe over a really long time the Winger would be better. Well, it would be, because eventually you'd run out of ammo faster with the regular pistol, but... and then, Ligormorph's just a skin for the pistol. So, then you have 3 drink things. You have we'll talk with the Atomic Punch. Basically, this replaces the pistol. If you drink the Atomic Punch, you'll become invulnerable for a little bit. Invulnerable to just everything, other than, like, environmental deaths. Like, if you run into a saw on, like, Sawmill with this on, you'll still die. But, it makes you basically invincible, so it can be good for that, but then you don't have the pistol. You don't have another weapon to supplement it. Good for taking out sentries and stuff, because you can distract sentries for like 6 seconds you're invincible. Then you have Criticola, which is basically like the punch. You have to drink it. You have a drinking animation during which you're pretty vulnerable, so it's generally you want to do it when you know you're not getting shot at. The Criticola, when you drink it, you get mini crits, much like having the soda popper, except you also take mini crits, which basically makes this the shittiest thing ever, because 1 mini crit from just about anything is going to do an insane amount of damage to a Scout, because a Scout has 125 health. So if you drink this, and a soldier sees you drink it, it's just like so easy to kill him, because they just shoot it right as your drinking animation's ending. Your drinking animation ends, and all of a sudden you get hit by a rocket, and you take mini crit damage, and you just explode, because you equip this weapon. I never see anybody use this thing anymore, and that's basically because what little health a Scout has, you need to stretch it out as much as you can. And so it's just awful, basically, when you reduce your health in really any way. And that's why one reason why this other one, the Mad Milk, is actually good. If you throw it on somebody, it's a lot like the Girardi for Sniper. You can throw it, and if you hit somebody with it, or it's like a kind of a splash. If the splash gets on somebody, they're covered in milk, and anybody who shoots that person gets 60% of the damage they do to that person back as health. So this is a very good way to like use it as a Scout to get health back. Like throw it on a heavy who's not necessarily paying attention. 1 shotgun shot to the back, and you'll basically get half your health back. And then 2 shots, you're basically at full health. So it's pretty good for that, at least. Then we have the various baseball bats. Many of them are just absolutely awful. What's absolutely awful? I'll start them in the frying pan for everybody. I mean, there's a basic baseball bat. It swings a lot faster than your standard melee weapon, but it does less damage to compensate. So it's really not that good, because you want your melee weapons to do a ton of damage, ideally in 1 hit, because you don't want... Because it's kind of hard to hit melee sometimes, and it's just... There's a lot of considerations why slower swinging melee weapons are better. There's a lot of consideration why any slow hitting weapon is better in TF2, which is why there are basically no automatic weapons other than like the heavy's minigun, the sniper SMG, and the syringe gun, I guess, pistol kind of. But it's just not very good. You want to have slow hitting things because it's hard enough to hit as it is. Then yeah, I mean, it's kind of the same reason why the fan is bad, because you don't want to shoot twice really fast. You want to take your time and make your shots count. And with this, it's like you can hit somebody, but it feels like you're just flailing about with it. So I think it kind of sucks. But you have the candy cane, same thing, except this is horseshit. Really bad weapon, because you take 25% extra explosive damage, which once again means that a rocket or a grenade or something is going to insta-kill you. So you should never wear it, as far as I'm concerned, if the other team has anybody with even anything with with explosive capabilities. But if you do kill somebody with this in your inventory, you don't have to have this out. If you kill somebody with your shotgun, you have this equipped. The enemy will drop a small health kit you can use, which is kind of nice. But once again, it's like you're so vulnerable to explosives, and it's just like one rocket and you're dead basically. It is not worth it in general, I would say. Conscientious Objector is a reskin. Fan of War is horrible. There's like literally no damage. If you hit somebody with this, they take mini crits. Problem is, you can only have one target marked with this. So you can only have it on one person, so you can't like sneak up behind the entire team and cover them with this to get mini crits. And meanwhile, while you're doing this and ineffectively putting mini crits on people, they're shooting at you and you're dead. When you could have been shooting them point blank in the back with one of your shotguns, doing insane damage, because the scout does do insane damage if you're point blank, and you could have just killed them outright. I mean, if a scout has a scattergun, he lands 6 really good shots on an overhealed heavy that's being healed by a medic. The heavy will die, even if he's still being healed by the medic, because that is how much damage the scattergun does. And you don't really want to sacrifice damage for scout, because really, it's like if you have all this speed as a scout, and if you're not using it to do damage, what are you using it for? Nothing useful. And that's kind of the same with this thing. It's like you're basically gimmicking you're using a gimmick which isn't very effective, and you're basically not doing things right. And that's also why the sun on the stick is bad, because you do less damage unless you're hitting burning people. But it's like, how often do you find burning people? And if you do, generally you have your shotgun out anyways, so you could just shoot them, because generally they're hurt because they're on fire, you know? So it's just like, you probably have your shotgun out. You don't just run around with your melee weapon out on scout, generally. And so you'll come around a corner, you'll see somebody burning, and you'll just shoot them with the shotgun. They'll probably die. But instead, you can like try and take this out and try and hit them with it. Meanwhile, taking a lot of time to waste doing that, and then you have to close the gap to actually melee, in which case you could actually die. It's kind of stupid. There's really not very many situations in which it's good at all. Frying Pan's a reskin of the bat. Holy Mackerel's a reskin of the bat. It has jiggle bones, so it like flops around, which is kind of funny. Boston Basher, really bad, because it causes people to bleed, but if you miss, then you bleed. And so it's just like, yeah, for how fast the bats swing, you're going to be missing a lot. And it's just like, if you want to swing very deliberately, very slowly to make sure you hit, then you're basically ignoring the reason the scouts' melee weapons are any good, and that's because they swing hella fast. And it's like you're sacrificing the one good thing about scout melees is that they swing fast, and you're sacrificing that for some shitty bleed effect, when, once again, you could just shoot them with your scattergun and have them be dead in like less time. It really comes down to all the melee weapons are horseshit, because the scattergun is too good, and there's just really no reason to ever use melee on scout in general. One of the few weapons, I would say, I think the only good scout weapons, I use the bat just because I like to fuck around and hit people with it because I love the sound it makes. But basically the only ones you want to have that, I would say you want to have basic bat equipped, unless you really want to have the atomizer or the Sandman effects. The atomizer, basically, what it does is it does less damage, and it swings slower, so it's basically crap for doing damage, but it gives you a triple jump. So you can use this triple jump to jump around 3 times instead of just doing twice. Unfortunately, though, your triple jump deals 10 damage to you, which is actually a very huge deal, because once you do 2 triple jumps, you're within range of getting insta-killed by a rocket or a grenade. So, once again, as a scout, you have to really worry about Soldier and Demo Man, the explosive classes, because they are going to be the people who have kind of the easiest time hitting you, because otherwise you're going to be jumping around, moving around really fast. It's going to be hard for other people to track you. And so when you have anything that makes you more vulnerable to explosive classes, you are generally severely injuring your capability to do anything useful for your team. Um, that's the same reason why the Sandman's kind of bad, because you lose 15 health. Um, I don't think you can get killed by a rocket when you're at 110 health. I don't think it can straight up kill you. I know grenades can. Regular grenades can and will kill you if you're at 110 health. Not all the time. It's because of damage spreads. Sometimes they'll do less, sometimes they'll do more. But grenades can kill you if you have 110 health, which is one reason the Sandman's bad. And I cannot tell you the amount of times I have lived with 15 health on Scout. And the amount of things you can do on Scout with 15 health or less is amazing, because you don't need a lot of health as Scout. Because if you can use your mobility to avoid enemies and avoid their shots, then you don't need a lot of health. But at the same time, you need health for when you do fuck up. Because you will fuck up. Either that or the enemies won't fuck up and they will shoot you. And then you'll be saying, oh my gosh, I wish I had that extra 15 health. On the bright side, one really fun thing with the Sandman is you can right click, use your alt fire, and it will launch a ball. It's like a projectile, and if it hits somebody, it will kind of stun them. So I've been having a lot of fun with that lately. I've been getting really good at it, actually. But that's kind of fun to do, but once again, if you're actually playing seriously, it's generally bad, because sacrificing any of your survivability as a Scout is a no-no, because that is the big thing about Scout, is how survivable he is, and also how much damage he can do. It's like, Scout is ridiculously good, and really the only reason he's not the most, like, overpowered class in the game is because he doesn't do as much damage as, like, the explosive classes do, like Soldier and Demoman do ridiculous damage, and also they have Splash, which is another thing. But I guess that's basically all the weapons. I probably talked a really long time about this, but that's just because I see a lot of people run around with Scout and be idiots, and it really bugs me because I like Scout the best. So it's just like, people running around with the Winger. It's just like, ooh, I hate you, but not really. Like, I don't actually hate them. It just irks me. But you play it for fun too. It's like I'm speaking, like, from an efficiency standpoint, that probably this is your best bet. It's probably your best bet. I mean, sometimes Bonk is useful. Mad Melt can occasionally be useful. Bats, generally the regular bat, or the Holy Mackerel, one of the reskins, or maybe the Atomizer. I mean, the thing with the Atomizer, it's like, if you're not going to ever use your melee to attack, you might as well look up the Atomizer. Just be careful you don't accidentally triple jump. Because if you accidentally triple jump, which is actually surprisingly easy to do, if you accidentally triple jump, you're going to lose 10 health, which is a pretty big deal. And then you can use the Sandman as actually viable sometimes. It used to be really overpowered because you used to be able to stun people who were Ubered, which was pretty easy and pretty ridiculous. So yeah, I guess that's it, and we will go and do some fantastic scouting action soon. So see you guys then.